Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome back to our channel. After a comprehensive overview about the initial 27 types of angels created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we discussed angels mulhimun and the angels of ilham in our last videos, we are now moving towards Malak Al Wahy, the angels of revelation. In the vast hierarchy of Allah's creation, among the most exalted of beings are the Malak Al Wahy, the angels of revelation appointed by Allah as intermediaries between the divine command and the hearts of chosen prophets. While Angel Jibril عليه السلام stands as the chief bearer of revelation and the supreme archangel entrusted with delivering the Qur'an, Hadith and Islamic tradition also speak of other assisting angels who are sometimes referred to collectively as Malak Al Wahy. We have given a detailed exploration on Angel Jibril, the first angel created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in our part 1 of Angelic series. If you haven't watched it yet, please do. The existence of angels of Wahy underscores the magnitude and sanctity of revelation, showing that the descent of divine words is not a solitary act but part of a majestic celestial order. These are the beings of unfathomable might, created from the most luminous light of Nur Muhammadi, meaning the divine light of Prophet Muhammad. These angels operate within the framework of Amar, meaning command, and Irada, meaning divine will, ensuring that the light of Allah's guidance reaches humanity in its purest and uncorrupted form. According to Qur'an, Angel Jibril is at the forefront, but the descent of revelation is supported by a host of accompanying angels who carry, protect and magnify the divine message as it travels through the unseen realms. In Tasawwufi interpretation, Malak Al Wahy represent not only the messengers of divine speech, but also the guardians of Siri Ilahi, meaning divine secrets. Each layer of angelic descent mirrors the unveiling of the Qur'an within the human soul, first as an eternal command in Allah al-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet, then through Angel Jibril to the Prophet's heart, and finally into the language of human expression. The angels of revelation thus symbolize the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between eternal knowledge and temporal understanding. The sheer weight of revelation often caused the Prophet Muhammad to tremble, sweat, or feel as though his soul was being pressed, and scholars mention that this was because the entourage of angels descending with Angel Jibril carried an overwhelming divine gravity, meaning Jalal. These assisting angels embodied the seriousness of the task, reminding mankind that revelation is not ordinary speech but the living word of Allah. Only prophets and messengers, no ordinary saint, scholar or believer receives Wahy, as prophethood is sealed with Muhammad. Thus, Malak Al Wahy are not merely conveyors of texts but bearers of divine light, who descend to protect, honor and amplify the sacred words as they reach a prophet. Their presence affirms the majesty of the Qur'an, the holiness of prophethood, and the cosmic orchestration behind every revealed word. Before going further, a quick update. All our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists, where all our videos are available for your convenience. Let's continue. Qur'an mentions in Surah 2 verse 97, "Say, whoever is an enemy to Gabriel, for he brought the Qur'an down upon your heart by Allah's permission, confirming what went before it, and as guidance and glad tidings for the believers," in Surah 26 verse 192 to 194. Indeed, it is a revelation of the Lord of the worlds. The trustworthy Spirit has brought it down upon your heart, O Muhammad, that you may be of the warners, in Surah chapter 8 verse 12. When your Lord revealed to the angels, "I am with you, so strengthen those who believe," in Surah 35 verse 1. All praise is due to Allah, maker of the heavens and the earth, who made the angels messengers, having wings, 2 or 3 or 4. In Surah 3 verses 42 to 45, verses about the angels giving glad tidings to Maryam. For example, O Mary, indeed Allah gives you good tidings of a word from Him. In Surah 16 verse 2, He sends down the angels with the Spirit at His command upon whom He wills of His servants, saying, warn that there is no deity except me, so fear me. Hadiths mentions Hadith of Angel Jibril, where Jibril came in human form to ask Muhammad about Islam, Iman and Ihsan. First revelation in Hira, where the Prophet said that Jibril visited him, pressed him and said, read 3 times. This is narrated in Bukhari and Muslim, when Jibril descended with Qur'an. In Bukhari, regarding the verse, do not move your tongue with it to hasten it, that is in Revelation, it is reported that when Angel Jibril came with revelation, the Prophet would remain silent until the angel left, then recite the verses. The Prophet said, O Omar, do you know who the questioner was? He replied, Allah and His Messenger know best. The Prophet said, verily he was Jibril, he came to teach you your religion. In our previous videos, we also explored the verse on how Allah created every living thing from water, the creation of the waters above the dome and below the flat earth, firmament dome above the flat earth, actual shape of the earth, according to the Qur'an and Islamic cosmology, primordial waters of the heavens, the kursi, meaning the footstool of Allah, the arsh, meaning the throne of Allah, Lawh al-Mahfuz, the sacred tablet, the pen, meaning al-Qalam, why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now let's continue. Descriptions and numbers of Malak Al Wahy. The Qur'an and Hadith speak most directly of Angel Jibril as the chief of revelation, but scholars and Tasawwufi masters have expanded on the wider order of angels of Wahy who assist him. Their descriptions, numbers and stations show the immensity of Allah's communication to creation. The Prophet saw Angel Jibril in his true form twice. He had 600 wings spreading across the horizon, each wing filled with pearls, rubies and radiant colors. The presence of Angels Jibril was overwhelming. When seen, the Prophet fainted from awe and even mountains trembled. Angel Jibril is the leader of angels of revelation, commander of all Wahy-bearing angels. Other traditions reported by Al-Suyuti and Al-Itqan mention that there are several accompanying hosts of angels descended with Angel Jibril when revelation came, especially during Laylat al-Qadr, mainly according to the Qur'an, as stated in Surah 97 verse 4, the angels and the Spirit descend therein by the permission of their Lord with every decree. This shows revelation is not carried by Angel Jibril alone, but by multitudes. These angels of Wahy are described as beings of light so intense that the Prophet would sweat even on a cold night when revelation descended. Their descent carried the Jalal, meaning majesty of divine speech. The Quran mentions angels who gave revelation-like messages to Sayyidah Maryam, to Prophets Ibrahim and Lut, and to the mother of Prophet Musa. These angels may not all be Angel Jibril. In every instance, scholars say sometimes it was assisting angels of Wahy under Angel Jibril's command. They are described as radiant men in luminous forms, their numbers varying according to the task, like a group of angels that came to Prophet Ibrahim, not just one. Even as stated earlier on Laylat al-Qadr, billions of angels descend with Jibril. Some tafsir state that every grain of sand and drop of water on earth is matched by one angel descending that night. This indicates that the Malak Al Wahy are not a small group, but an immense army of light whose exact number is known only to Allah. They are often called Nuzal, meaning those who descend in Tasawwufi writings. Difference between angels of Wahy and angels of Ilham. The angels of Wahy are the angels who bring down formal revelation, scripture and divine laws to the prophets. As stated earlier, the chief angel is Jibril عليه السلام, called al-Amīn, the trustworthy spirit, and al-Qudus, the Holy Spirit. They are sometimes heard like the ringing of a bell, as stated in Sahih Bukhari. Sometimes Angel Jibril appeared in human form, sometimes in his angelic form with 600 wings, sometimes direct inspiration to the Prophet's heart. The Prophet described it as extremely heavy. His body would sweat in cold weather, and the camel he rode would kneel under the weight. The angels of Ilham are angels who whisper inspiration, guidance, ideas, and inner light into the hearts of believers, saints, and prophets. Prophets received both Wahy and Ilham. Awliya and saints receive Ilham as spiritual guidance but never Wahy. Every sincere believer may experience Ilham in the form of firasa, meaning spiritual insight, or a sudden clarity of heart. Quranic proofs like Surah 28 verse 7, and we inspired the mother of Moses, suckle him, and in Surah 91 verse 8, and Allah inspired the soul with its wickedness and its righteousness. These are examples of Ilham, not prophetic Wahy. Their form of descent are gentle, subtle, often unnoticed. It may come as a thought, a feeling, or clarity in the heart. The Prophet said, as recorded in Musnad Ahmad, indeed the believer is inspired by his Lord according to the degree of his faith. Their purpose is to guide, comfort, strengthen, and warn. Ilham does not introduce new law, but helps align the heart with divine will. In Tasawwufi understanding, Wahy is like the sun, clear, overwhelming, universal, bringing daylight for all humanity. Ilham is like the moonlight, soft, reflected, personal, and guiding individuals in the night of spiritual struggle. Saints and awliya continue to be guided by angels of Ilham, so that the inner path, meaning tariqah, remains alive, while Wahy remains sealed. Maulana Rumi expressed it beautifully. The Wahy is the voice of the Lord for the prophets. The Ilham is the echo of that voice in the hearts of the saints. Roll with prophets, with Prophet Adam. After the creation of Adam, Allah sent angels to teach him the names of all things. Many commentators, including masters like Hazrat Ibn Arabi, interpreted this as the first instance of angelic teaching, a type of Wahy. This is often viewed him as the angel Jibril and the angels of Wahy who conveyed this knowledge, since he is the archangel of divine words and meanings. In Barzakh, Prophet Adam was also guided through angelic inspirations and reminded of the words of repentance, as stated in Surah 2 verse 37. Tasawwufi masters note that the angels of Wahy here symbolize the gift of sacred knowledge that makes man superior to angels themselves. With Prophet Nuh, the Qur'an says in Surah 23 verse 27, Allah revealed to Prophet Nuh to build the ark. Classical Mufassirun such as Hazrat al-Tabari state that this was carried by Angel Jibril, and his army is the angels of revelation. Prophet Nuh did not only receive divine command but also guidance on details of construction. Tasawwufi and Tariqat commentators say that the angel of Wahy here represents preservation, protecting the believer from drowning in the ocean of dunya by guiding him to build his ark of obedience. With Prophet Ibrahim, the angels of Wahy played multiple roles in Prophet Ibrahim's life. When the command to sacrifice his son came, many scholars hold that Angel Jibril and his army was the one who brought the dream and also descended at the moment of trial, bringing the ram. Earlier, when the angels visited Prophets Ibrahim and Lut, they bore tidings of Prophet Ishaq's birth and destruction for the people of Lut. Tasawwufi and Tariqat scholars like Maulana Rumi use this story to show how angels of Wahy act as messengers of both mercy and judgment, To one family they give glad tidings, to another they deliver doom. With Prophet Musa is the prophet most frequently linked with angelic communication. In Surah 28 verse 30, Allah speaks to him directly at Mount Tur, yet angelic mediation is understood in tafsir. Angel Jibril with his army is believed to have accompanied and prepared Prophet Musa for divine speech. In other instances, angels of Wahy assisted him against Pharaoh, teaching him miracles like the staff turning into a serpent. According to Hadith, when the angel of death came for Prophet Musa, he resisted, showing his closeness to angels, yet also his unique station of direct divine address. Tasawwufi and Tariqat scholars like Hazrat Ibn Arabi interpret Prophet Musa's interaction with Angel Jibril as the meeting of the law, meaning Sharia, and spirit, meaning Ruh, since Prophet Musa brought the tablets through Wahy and upheld divine law with angelic support. With Prophets Dawood and Suleiman, Prophet Dawood was given the Zebur, or known as Psalms, and Prophet Suleiman was given dominion over men, jinn and birds. Both received their Wahy through angels of Wahy. In Prophet Dawood's case, angelic Wahy often came in the form of reminders and judgments, teaching him fairness as stated in Surah 38 verses 21 to 26. With Prophet Suleiman, Tasawwufi tradition emphasizes how angels of Wahy would bring him hidden knowledge, yet Prophet Suleiman also commanded beings beyond angels. Hazrat Ibn Arabi saw this as proof that the perfect human integrates angelic and cosmic forces under Allah's command. With Prophet Yunus received Wahy when swallowed by the whale. According to Tasawwufi interpretation, the angel of Wahy comforted him with words of tasbih in the darkness. His dua, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minal zalimin, was taught and strengthened by angelic light. Tasawwufi scholars say angels of Wahy here represents the light of remembrance that enters even the deepest prison of the nafs. With Prophets Zakaria and Yahya, both prophets received direct Wahy through Jibril and his army. Prophet Zakaria was given glad tidings of a son while praying in the mihrab of Sayyida Maryam. The Qur'an explicitly mentions al-Malaika giving this news, understood to be angels of Wahy. Prophet Yahya himself was commanded to hold the book with strength, another angelic communication. Tasawwufi scholars explain this as the angel of Wahy strengthening the heart of worshippers, reminding them that miracles are born from steadfastness. With Sayyida Maryam and Prophet Isa, angels of Wahy along with Angel Jibril appeared in human form to Sayyida Maryam, bringing the breath of life and the word. The angel of Wahy here acted as mediator of the divine word made flesh, a unique form of Wahy unlike any other. With Prophet Isa, the angel was revealed through angels. Masters like Maulana Rumi see in this the symbol of the heart as a womb. When purified, it can receive the Gabrielic breath and give birth to spiritual realities. With Prophet Muhammad, the greatest role of the angels of Wahy was with the seal of prophets. From the first revelation in Hirate, as stated in Surah 96 verse 1 read, "In the name of your Lord." Angel Jibril was the companion, teacher and protector. He appeared in both his original angelic form with 600 wings filling the horizon and in human form as Dihya al-Kalbi. He guided the Prophet through every stage, the Qur'an's gradual descent, the night journey and ascension, the battles and even the final verses. Masters like Hazrat Ibn Arabi and Maulana Rumi emphasize that Angel Jibril is the symbol of knowledge and light, but that the Prophet ultimately surpassed him at the Sidrat al-Muntaha, entering the divine presence beyond angelic reach. Angels of Wahy in Tasawwufi symbolism. In Tasawwuf, Jibril alayhi salam and his companions, called angels of Wahy, are not only the deliverer of revelation, but the symbol of divine knowledge, meaning il laduni, which has been stated several times in Qur'an. They represents the rational and luminous intellect, meaning Aql al-Nuri, that connects heaven and earth. In Tasawwuf, Angel Jibril and his companions are the bridge between the unseen, meaning Alam al-Ghaib, and the seen, meaning Alam al-Shahada. In the human microcosm, they symbolizes the faculty of the heart that receives higher knowledge from Allah. Why 600 wings of Angel Jibril? Tasawwufi scholars say his 600 wings symbolize the infinite paths of divine wisdom branching out in all directions. Each wing is a ray of divine knowledge, and together they cover the entire horizon of existence. When the Prophet received Wahy, his body trembled, sweat poured, and his heart shook. Tasawwufi Amdi Tariqat masters interpret this as the soul's reaction to the overwhelming light of divine knowledge when it enters the limited vessel of human form. Maulana Rumi says, "The Wahy strikes like lightning, for the body is earth, but the heart is sky. It trembles when the thunder of God enters." In Tasawwufi symbolism, the descent of Wahy represents the meeting of two worlds, infinite divine light entering finite human capacity. The struggle of the body under this weight symbolizes how much purification is required for the heart to bear divine secrets. The Qur'an says in Surah 97 verse 4, "The angels and the spirit descend therein by the permission of their Lord with every command." Tasawwufi interpretation described that on Laylat al-Qadr, not only Angel Jibril but countless angels descend, filling the earth with divine mercy. This represents the descent of countless meanings of the Qur'an into the hearts of seekers. Each angel descending is like a ray of insight, an opening of inner wisdom, meaning ma'rifah. Hazrat Ibn Arabi says, "The angels that descend are the truths of the Qur'an entering the hearts," as stated in Sahih Bukhari. The Prophet said that sometimes revelation came like the ringing of a bell. In Tasawwuf, the bell-like sound represents the vibration of divine speech beyond words. Before words reach human language, Wahy exists as a pure vibration of divine presence which overwhelms the senses. In meditation, meaning dhikr, tasawwufi and tariqat masters sometimes describe hearing subtle sounds or vibrations, symbolic traces of the same angelic presence, as Angel Jibril is chief of Wahy. But Tasawwufi commentators say he is surrounded by armies of angels who help transmit and protect revelation. Symbolically, this hierarchy represents layers of meaning. Angel Jibril as the clear, universal message, the outer Qur'an. Assisting angels as the inner lights, and subtler meanings, meaning tafsir batin. Together as the Qur'an, as both zahir meaning outer law and batin meaning inner wisdom. Maulana Rumi compares them to musicians. Angel Jibril plays the main melody and the other angels harmonize, making the symphony of divine speech bearable for the human ear. Tasawwufi scholars say that the Prophet was the only human able to receive Angel Jibril fully. Others would faint or die if exposed to his true form. In Tasawwuf and Tariqat, Prophet Muhammad, the perfected human, meaning al-Insan al-Kamil, is the cosmic mirror that reflects divine speech in its fullness. When Angel Jibril stopped at Sidrat al-Muntaha during Miraj, it symbolized that even the highest angel cannot cross into the direct presence of Allah, but the human heart, purified in Muhammadan light, can. In Tasawwuf, Wahy is seen as continuous presence, not just historical event. Though prophethood is sealed, Tasawwufi masters emphasize that the presence of the angels of Wahy remains. The Quran descends eternally, not only 1400 years ago. The Quran is always descending into the hearts of the awliya, meaning friends of Allah. This does not mean new law, but unveiling of deeper meanings linked to ilm al-laduni, as stated in the Quran. Hazrat Ibn Arabi, the Quran is in constant descent every day, every moment. A new wahi of meanings enters the purified heart. In Tasawwuf, the heaviness of revelation is the Jalal, meaning Allah's majesty. The sweetness of Quranic recitation is the Jamal, meaning Allah's beauty. The angels of Wahi symbolize the balance between awe and intimacy. Revelation both terrifies and soothes, burns and heals. In Tasawwufi practice, Angel Jibril and his army symbolizes the Murshid, meaning spiritual guide. Just as Angel Jibril carried revelation to the Prophet, the Murshid carries the echo of that light to the disciple's heart. The descent of Wahi symbolizes the moments of unveiling in dhikr, when sudden clarity fills the heart. The heaviness of Wahi reminds seekers that real knowledge requires sacrifice, purification, and endurance. Maulana Rumi sums it in a single verse: Jibril is your intellect, his wings are your heart's lights, and the Qur'an descends in you. Whenever you are silent before God, Tasawwufi commentary, Hazrat Imam al-Ghazali in Ihya Ulum al-Din, Imam Ghazali describes revelation meaning Wahi as the highest form of divine communication, distinct from ilham meaning inspiration. He explains that the angels of Wahi, above all Jibril, are like the rope between heaven and earth. Without them, the human being would be blind, unable to receive divine truth. For Imam Ghazali, the angel of Wahi symbolizes the universal teacher, the one who teaches without tongue or ink. He notes that the Prophet received through Jibril the reality of the Qur'an, yet the sound of words was created directly in the Prophet's heart. Thus, Imam Ghazali teaches that the angel of Wahi is not merely a courier, but the spiritual transformer of the Prophet's being, polishing his heart into the perfect mirror of Allah's speech. He warns seekers not to confuse ilham with Wahi. The saints may receive inspiration, but the seal of Wahi belongs only to prophets. Hazrat Ibn al-Arabi, the Shaykh al-Akbar, gives the deepest metaphysical vision of the angels of Wahi. In Fusus al-Hikam and al-Futuhat al-Makkiyah, he identifies Angel Jibril Ang, angels of Wahi, as the universal intellect, meaning al-Aql al-Kulli, the first emanation of divine light, who governs knowledge and order in the cosmos. For Hazrat Ibn Arabi, the angels of Wahi are not just messengers, they are cosmic principles of knowledge and light. He says, Jibril is the reality of knowledge itself. Through him, the word of Allah descends into forms, and through him, forms ascend to the word of Allah. He also interprets the Sidrat al to Muntaha event, when Angel Jibril stopped and the Prophet went further, as proof that the Insan al-Kamil, meaning the only perfect human, surpasses the angels because he can unite both the knowledge of Angel Jibril and the vision of Allah directly. In Hazrat Ibn Arabi's cosmology, angels of Wahi also serve as mirrors of the divine names. Each descent of Wahi is not only a command, but a manifestation of a specific divine attribute. Hazrat Sheikh Abd al-Qadir al-Jilani, in his discourses in Futu al-Ghaib al-Fat al-Rabbani, Sheikh Abd al-Qadir emphasizes the purifying power of the angels of Wahi. He describes these angels as a fire of truth who burns away the veils of the prophets. He explains that when revelation descended upon the Prophet, it carried an unbearable weight, not because of the words alone, but because the angel of Wahi carries the light of Allah without veil. Shaykh Abd al-Qadir teaches that saints may experience something of this weight in their ilham, though never at the prophetic level. He tells his disciples, if a light descends upon your heart, know that it is a trace of the light of Gabriel, for he is the one who poured truth into the hearts of the messengers. But beware, only the Prophet could bear his full descent. Thus, for him, the angels of Wahi represent truth descending with power, and they remind seekers of the humility needed to receive even a trace of divine guidance. Hazrat Shams Tabrizi. Hazrat Shams, the spiritual son of Maulana Rumi, his murshid, often spoke in paradoxes, but his reflections on angels of Wahy are deeply mystical. He said, Gabriel descends upon the prophets, but upon the saints descends his fragrance. By this he meant that though prophetic Wahy has ended, the light of angel Jibril still radiates in the hearts of the awliya through inspiration and unveiling meaning, kashf. Hazrat Shams also warned that the true seeker must become like the Prophet, vast enough to contain Angel Jibril's fire. Otherwise, what comes may be from the ego or from whispers. For Hazrat Shams, the angel of Wahy symbolizes the direct speech of Allah to the purified heart. He often told Maulana Rumi, do not think Gabriel is far. Every breath that remembers Allah is a Gabriel descending. This symbolic language shows that Hazrat Shams saw the angel of Wahy not only as a historical being, but also as a living reality of divine presence. Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, the murid of Hazrat Shams, Maulana Rumi speaks of the angels of Wahy throughout the Mathnawi. For him, Angel Jibril is the teacher of prophets, but also a symbol of the ascending human spirit. He tells the story of how Angel Jibril accompanied the Prophet on the Miraj, but stopped at the Sidra saying, if I go further, I will burn. Maulana Rumi interprets this as a lesson. Man, when purified, can surpass the angels. He says, if you master your nafs, you become higher than Gabriel. If you let your nafs master you, you become lower than a beast. For Maulana Rumi, the angel of Wahy is a symbol of continuous revelation in the heart. Not new scripture, but constant flashes of light. He says, the Qur'an is finished in writing, but it continues in hearts, for Gabriel has not ceased his descent. Thus, Maulana Rumi sees these angels of Wahy as both the historical angel of the Prophet and the living principle of illumination that guides seekers to divine union. Possibility of seeing them in real life, the Quran shows that angels of revelation sometimes appear visibly to prophets and even to non-prophets. Like Sayyida Maryam saw Angel Jibril in the form of a well-proportioned man. The angels came to prophets Ibrahim and Lut as guests. Angel Jibril came to the Prophet repeatedly, both in human form and original form. Classical scholars like Hazrat al-Qurtubi and Hazrat ibn Kathir state angels can appear to humans by Allah's permission, especially in the form of men. In Dihya al-Kalbi, Angel Jibril would appear most often in the form of this companion, known for his beauty. The companion saw a man speaking to the Prophet, but realized it was Angel Jibril after the Prophet explained. The Prophet saw Angel Jibril twice in his true form, filling the horizon with 600 wings. This shows that the highest level of angelic perception is reserved for the most purified eyes of the heart. Tasawwufi masters explained that angels of Wahy rarely manifest physically after the seal of prophethood. However, the barakah of their presence may still be sensed by awliya and saints. Hazrat Ibn Arabi calls such encounters tajalli, meaning manifestation, not Wahy of new law, but a spiritual encounter carrying inspiration or confirmation. Sheikh Abd al-Qadir al-Jilani in Futuh al-Ghaib says, the servant, when purified of passions, may behold the angelic realm with the eye of his heart, and sometimes by Allah's leave with the eyes of his head, seeing angels of Wahy in dreams. The Prophet said, whoever sees me in a dream has truly seen me, for Satan cannot take my form. Though not stated for angels explicitly, scholars like Hazrat al-Nawawi write that true dreams can feature angels because Satan cannot impersonate them either in their true symbolic form. Many scholars have narrated dreams of seeing angels of Wahy handing them something symbolic. like a book, light or water, representing knowledge. Hazrat Imam al-Suyuti mentions in Tashid al-Arsh that saints have dreamed of a majestic man reciting Qur'an to them. When asked, they said, it was Jibril. Hazrat Imam al-Ghazali said dreams of angels of Wahy are a form of Ruya Sadiqa, meaning true vision, and indicate spiritual readiness to receive knowledge. Hazrat Ibn Arabi, dreams of Jibril signify the Gabrielic breath descending into one's heart, a mirage of the soul. Hazrat Rumi, in the Mathnawi, he says the heart in dream can drink from the spring where Gabriel kneels. Hazrat Shams Tabrizi, in his discourses, he tells disciples to look for the messenger of the heart in dreams, a subtle reference to angelic visions. Seeing angels of Wahy in Kashf, meaning spiritual unveiling. Kashf is a state in which Allah lifts veils from the heart, allowing a person to witness unseen realities. It is not prophethood or new revelation, but inspired unveiling, meaning ilham. Scholarly texts describe angels of Wahy appearing in luminous forms, not always humanoid. They may be experienced as light descending onto the chest, voices of dhikr in the inner ear, fragrance filling the space during solitude. These are not hallucinations but subtle perceptions of the Malakut, the angelic realm. Hazrat Ibn Arabi writes in Futuhat al-Makkiyah, the inheritors of the prophets may see Jibril in visions, clothed in meanings, not in forms of law-giving. Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, if you see a light in your retreat, do not assume it is the Lord, it may be an angel. Test it with Qur'an and Sunnah. Maulana Rumi speaks of Gabriel's wing brushing the heart during intense dhikr. Hazrat Shams Tabrizi, the saints see Gabriel not with eyes of flesh, but with the eye of intimacy, meaning Ayn al-Uns. Guidelines on these encounters are only possible in few cases like purity of heart. Angels of Wahy are only seen by those whose hearts are free of pride and sin. No new Sharia after the Prophet, no one receives new law. Any angelic encounter is for ilham or spiritual strengthening, not legislation. Masters emphasize verifying visions by Qur'an, Sunnah, and the counsel of a murshid. Angels often appear in symbolic forms: a man, a bird, a child, a teacher, representing qualities of mercy, knowledge, or guidance. Role in the grave. When a believer passes away, the angels of Wahy are said to have a subtle but profound presence even in the grave. While the angels Munkar and Nakir interrogate the deceased, the angels of Wahy play a spiritual supportive role, especially for prophets and saints. They are often described in texts as bearers of divine light, meaning nur, that envelopes the soul, reminding it of Allah's mercy and the divine words it once lived by. For prophets, the angels of Wahy are present as witnesses and guides, illuminating their graves with the light of revelation. Hazrat Ibn Arabi and Maulana Rumi emphasize that this illumination is not merely symbolic. It is a spiritual radiance that sustains the soul in its first stage after death, keeping it in the state of dhikr it maintained in life. Saints and those close to Allah may also receive glimpses of these angels in their grave, their presence easing the terror and darkness of the qabr, filling it instead with comfort, remembrance, and inspiration. These angels are not interrogators but supporters of the soul's spiritual continuity. Role in Barzakh, the intermediary realm. In Barzakh, the realm between death and resurrection, the angels of Wahy maintain their primary function as bearers of divine light and inspiration. Unlike other angels such as Munkar and Nakir who test the soul, these angels act as spiritual companions, transmitting in divine words, guidance, and clarity to the soul. Tariqat scholars, including Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, describe that in Barzakh, angels of Wahy shield the soul from darkness and confusion, allowing it to retain its connection to the Qur'an, dhikr, and the spiritual states it cultivated in life. Hazrat Ibn Arabi writes that the souls of those who spent their lives in sincere dhikr are bathed in a continuous stream of Gabrielic light, where each memory of divine guidance is strengthened by angelic presence. Tariqat texts even describe the Barzakh as a final school of the soul, where angels of Wahy teach meanings of Quranic verses the person neglected in life, giving them a chance to experience the depth of divine speech. Thus, the angels of Wahy act as mentors, guardians, and illuminators in Barzakh, a role that distinguishes them from punitive or recording angels. Role on Qiyamah. On the Day of Judgment, the angels of Wahy have a crucial but primarily spiritual role. They are not the ones carrying scales or leading souls to heaven or hell. That is the domain of other angels like Raqib, Atid, Malik, and Hamalat al-Arsh, but they serve as witnesses to the life of the servant in terms of receptivity and obedience to revelation. For prophets, the angels of Wahy would testify to their steadfastness and transmission of revelation, showing how they conveyed Allah's word faithfully to their people. This aligns with Quranic verses of Surah 82 verse 10 to 12, emphasizing that angels are witnesses over deeds, but specifically for the spiritual truth of revelation. For sincere believers, especially those guided by Kamil Murshid, the angels of Wahy will testify to the continuous remembrance, meditation on Qur'an, and spiritual connection they maintained, giving them favor in the divine court. Hazrat Ibn Arabi says that these angels illuminate the hearts of believers with heavenly light, making them recognizable as lovers of Allah and the Qur'an. Tariqat masters describe a spiritual scale where the quality of reception of divine speech matters more than quantity of deeds. Angels of Wahy will testify to how deeply a servant imbibed the divine word, how diligently they applied it, and how faithfully they received the guidance of murshids, or spiritual practices. In essence, on Qiyamah, the angels of Wahy act as spiritual witnesses, testifying to the heart's devotion to divine revelation, confirming the sincerity of the soul's relationship with Allah and His message. Their testimony may even influence the degree of closeness to Allah, the honor of the station in paradise, and the reception of spiritual light in the eternal realm. Protection and awareness through a Kamil Murshid. In Tariqat di Tasawwufi tradition, the Kamil Murshid is a perfected guide who not only conveys the outer law meaning Sharia, but also the inner reality meaning Hakika. The presence of such a guide is essential for connection to the angelic realms, especially the angels of Wahy, because these angels operate in subtle spiritual dimensions that require purity of heart, intention, and receptivity. Without a murshid, even sincere efforts at dhikr or spiritual practice may leave one exposed to misguiding influences or spiritual blindness. The murshid serves as a bridge between the seeker and the unseen realities, providing protection, guidance, and preparation for the soul to perceive, interact with, and benefit from the angels of Wahy. A murshid awakens the seeker to the reality that every breath is a form shaped by zikr. By teaching breath zikr, the murshid transforms the human into a being of continuous remembrance, surpassing angels. A Kamil Murshid, meaning a perfect spiritual guide, is considered in Tasawwuf the inheritor of the Prophet, guiding seekers on the path from clay, meaning nafs, to light, meaning ruh. The Kamil Murshid helps awaken this nafas al-Rahman, meaning breath of the All-Merciful, within the disciple. Also as stated in Surah Kaf, verse 17, whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a murshid, meaning a spiritual guide. Angels are always in dhikr, but their dhikr is fixed and limited to the forms Allah gave them. Man, however, through guidance of a murshid, can transform his every breath into dhikr, making his remembrance continuous, like angels, and even higher because it comes through free will. In tariqat, the murshid teaches habz al-nafas, meaning watching the breath, and zikr hafi, meaning silent dhikr. Every inhalation and every exhalation affirms Allah and He alone. This makes the seeker live in the constant rhythm of divine presence. A Kamil Murshid offers protection in three primary dimensions. First dimension is protection from Satan and nafs, the lower self. Murshid helps the disciple avoid arrogance, pride, and heedlessness, which can block angelic influence. Hazrat Ibn Arabi notes that the angels of revelation do not descend to hearts dominated by ego or heedlessness, because the divine word cannot enter impurity. Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani emphasizes that disciples under the guidance of a murshid are shielded from subtle satanic whispers during dhikr and reflection, allowing the soul to remain receptive to angelic light. Second dimension is protection during spiritual practices like dhikr, meditation, and recitation. The murshid instructs precise techniques of dhikr, including breath-based remembrance, which aligns the seeker's nafas, meaning breath, with divine rhythm, mimicking the continuous remembrance performed by angels. Maulana Rumi in Mathnawi likens this to the wings of Gabriel brushing the heart, indicating that disciplined dhikr under a murshid creates a vibration in the heart that attracts angels of revelation. The third dimension is protection of the spiritual heart. The murshid helps remove spiritual rust, envy, arrogance, and attachment, which otherwise blocks the subtle Gabrielic light. Hazrat Imam Ghazali in Ihya Ulum al-Din writes that the spiritual guide opens the channels of divine knowledge, enabling the disciple to experience illumination in both dreams and kashf, and to safely interpret angelic signs. The breath-centered dhikr allotted by the murshid to the seeker or murad signify that each inhalation and exhalation is synchronized with the remembrance of Allah, producing what tariqat masters call nafas al-rahma, the breath of mercy. This mirrors the angel's perpetual dhikr and helps the seeker become a locus for angelic inspiration. Certain surahs such as Al-Fatiha, Surah Yasin, Surah Al-Mulk, and Surah Al-Ikhlas are recited daily. The murshid instructs not only the recitation but contemplation of meanings, which attracts angelic attention. Morning and evening supplications, protection prayers, and seeking the company of angels. Du'as taught by a murshid often include requests for angelic support, protection from shaitan, and illumination of the heart. Avoiding pride, envy, anger, greed. These repel angelic presence. The murshid emphasizes tolerance, humility, and sincerity, which are the conditions for angels to descend or support the seeker. The Kamil Murshid not only protects but also trains the disciple to recognize angelic guidance through intuitive understanding, meaning al-fuhum ala-dunya, through dreams and visions, meaning ruya sadika, through inner light meditation, meaning tajalli. Maulana Rumi describes this as the hand of Gabriel touching the heart through the hand of the master, emphasizing that the murshid mediates the reception of angelic wisdom safely. The murshid instructs the disciple to avoid acts that repel angels, such as arrogance, pride, lying, or neglecting obligatory worship. With proper guidance, the disciple aligns with divine command and attracts the continuous inspiration and protection of the angels of Wahy, even in unseen realms like Barzakh. Through Qur'an, Surah Al-Fatiha is known as the mother of the Qur'an and is considered a direct invocation of Allah's mercy and guidance. Tariqat masters, including Maulana Rumi, say that Al-Fatiha opens the heart to angelic illumination, creating a spiritual channel similar to the perpetual remembrance of the angels of Wahy. Reciting it with reflection on meaning, especially in the morning, protects the heart, and aligns the seeker with divine guidance, creating a receptive state for angelic presence. Surah Yasin, the heart of the Qur'an, is often recited for spiritual protection, barzakh illumination, and ease in life and death. According to Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, Yasin draws the angel of revelation closer, symbolically representing the heart's ability to receive divine inspiration. Night recitation in a calm, reflective state attracts subtle angelic presence, as the angelic world responds to vibrational resonance in the heart. Surah Al-Mulk. This surah protects from the punishment of the grave. Angels of Wahy are said to attend the reciter's grave, offering protection and maintaining spiritual illumination even after death. Reciting Al-Mulk nightly under Murshid guidance strengthens both worldly awareness and barzakh protection. Surah Al-Ikhlas affirms Tawheed, the core resonance that angels of Wahy constantly proclaim. Aligning the disciple's heart with this pure declaration of God's unity attracts angelic presence. Integrated into daily dhikr, each repetition strengthens the nafas al-rahma, making every breath a spiritual channel like angels' continuous dhikr. Surahs Al-Falaq and An-Nas protects against shaitan, jinn, and subtle harms. The angels of Wahy act as guards, assisting the supplicant, especially during spiritual exercises or deep contemplation. Recitation in morning and evening creates a spiritual perimeter, allowing the heart to remain receptive to angelic guidance. Acts to do: sincere dhikr with breath awareness. Align every inhalation and exhalation with the remembrance of Allah, meaning nafas al-rahma. Quranic recitation with reflection. Focus on meaning, not just recitation. Regular prayer meaning salah, and voluntary worship meaning nawafi. Tahajjud, duha, and night prayer strengthen receptivity. Acts of kindness, humility, justice, and generosity attract angelic support. Spiritual seclusion meaning khalwa and reflection. Quiet contemplation under Murshid guidance enhances subtle perception. Following guidance ensures safe alignment with spiritual and angelic channels. Regular supplication to seek protection and illumination, freeing heart from attachment, selfishness, or worldly obsession. Acts to avoid that repel angels of Wahy: arrogance, pride, and ego, as these were the qualities of Iblis. Neglecting obligatory worship meaning faradi, dishonesty, deceit, and hypocrisy, envy, anger, malice, and resentment. Ignoring spiritual guidance of a murshid, excessive attachment to materialism, neglecting reflection and contemplation, sins that corrupt the heart or intention. So, dear viewers, the angels of Wahy are celestial intermediaries who transmit divine inspiration, guidance, and illumination from Allah to His chosen servants, primarily the prophets. They occupy a unique spiritual station, distinct from angels of Ilham or other angelic classes, because they directly engage with the divine command and light of revelation. Their presence is a constant testament to the order, mercy, and wisdom of Allah, ensuring that the human heart capable of receiving guidance is nurtured and protected. Through Quranic recitation, dhikr with breath awareness, prayer, voluntary worship, moral conduct, and obedience to a Kamil Murshid, humans can cultivate a receptive heart, attract the presence of these angels, and maintain a continuous spiritual connection. Tariqat Masters. From Imam Ghazali to Hazrat Ibn Arabi, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, Maulana Rumi, Hazrat Shams Tabrizi, and many such great saints emphasize that the human heart, when purified and disciplined, can reflect the angelic dhikr, aligning itself with divine light in a way that even angels themselves marvel at the potential of man. Conversely, neglecting obligatory worship, moral duties, and murshid guidance, or indulging in arrogance, deceit, malice, or attachment to worldly pleasures repels these angels, darkens the heart, and obstructs the reception of divine guidance. In Tasawwufi symbolism, the angels of Wahy are like living mirrors of divine light, illuminating hearts that seek truth, while those hearts closed to obedience and sincerity remain in darkness. In life, these angels guard the soul, inspire noble thoughts, and assist in moral rectitude. In Barzakh and the grave, they continue to shield the soul, affirm its deeds, and maintain spiritual illumination. On the day of Qiyamah, their testimony, alongside the angels of recording and witness, ensures the manifestation of divine justice and mercy, emphasizing the interconnectedness of angels, revelation, and human spiritual responsibility. Ultimately, the relationship with the angels of Wahy is dynamic, experiential, and spiritually transformative. Through consistent dhikr, contemplation, Quranic reflection, and ethical living, guided by a murshid, the human heart becomes a luminous vessel, capable of perceiving the unseen, sustaining angelic presence, and attaining closeness to Allah. This path highlights the profound interplay between divine light, angelic mediation, and human effort, reminding seekers that the heart is both the canvas and the mirror upon which divine revelation and angelic guidance manifest. In essence, aligning with the angels of Wahy is not merely an abstract concept, but a practical, lived reality, where every breath, every action, every intention, and every remembrance becomes a means of protection, illumination, and eternal guidance. By embracing this path fully, the seeker walks in harmony with both the visible and invisible realms, attaining spiritual elevation and safeguarding the soul from both worldly and unseen adversities. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic, faith-strengthening content. And let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Insha'Allah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.